In this video, I'll try my best to do a very short, simple rundown of the Imperial and Chaos Forces timelines in the game of Warhammer 40,000 up to this point. This video is intended to provide a very simplified and stripped down timeline of the Warhammer 40,000 storyline thus far. The story revolves around the Imperium of Man, the forces of chaos, and various alien races, all of which have rich backgrounds, but this video will focus on the Imperium of Man and chaos for the sake of simplicity. The Imperium of Man, of course, refers to all of the united human forces across the galaxy. These forces include the Imperial Army and Navy in this case being the Space Fleet, the Space Marines, Adeptus Mechanicus, the forces of the Church, and several other smaller groups. Now we'll pick up the storyline in the 31st millennium. Up to this point, humans had been expanding across the galaxy using the warp to travel great distances in a manner similar to how wormholes might work. The warp is an alternate hellish dimension that I'll explain further on. Humans had experienced significant technological advancements and developed AI, which ultimately rose against them, as it tends to do, and the AI was defeated at great cost. AI was subsequently destroyed and forbidden, leading to a great technological setback known as the Dark Age of Technology. This left humanity spread across the galaxy in a very fractured and disorganized state. Now, the Emperor of Man, a godlike being, had been behind the scenes up to this point and refrained from interfering with anything. In the 31st millennium, he could no longer sit back and revealed himself to humanity in an effort to unite humans across the galaxy once more. The Emperor set about this by first developing 20 more beings using his own DNA, which he called Primarchs. Each Primarch was exceptionally powerful and had a slight twist to their genetic makeup, making them excel in different areas of combat, siegecraft, statesmanship, and various other fields. Using the DNA of these Primarchs, referred to as Gene Seed, the Emperor began developing legions of Space Marines for each to command. Space Marines were genetically engineered super soldiers equipped with power armor and the best weapons in the Imperium. Each 100,000 strong legion shared their Primarch's specific twist. Now, before the Emperor could begin his crusade across the galaxy, the forces of chaos residing in the warp got wind of his plan and scattered the 20 infant Primarchs across the galaxy, each landing on different planets. The forces of chaos include the 4 chaos gods and their unnumbered legions of demons. The 4 chaos gods are Khorne, the god of war and murder, Nurgle, the god of disease and decay, Tzeentch, the god of change and scheming, and Slaanesh, the god of hedonism and excess. Each god derives their power from the races across the galaxy engaging in each of those activities. For example, whenever somebody or something is killed in combat, Khorne gains a tiny fraction of power from that death. Now, the gods rarely cooperate, and each desire to control the galaxy themselves. The Emperor conceals the existence of these gods and demons from humanity and abolishes the Church in an effort to further scientific advancement once more. The scattering of the Primarchs didn't stop the Emperor, who sets off on his crusade across the galaxy, uniting human worlds, committing genocide against various alien races, and locating the Primarchs one by one. As each Primarch is rediscovered, they're put at the head of their respective legion. The crusade grows in strength with each discovered Primarch and goes fairly well. At some point, the 20 Primarchs and legions are reduced to 18, which Games Workshop deliberately does not go into detail on, but it's hinted at that at least one of the legions was destroyed by the others for unnamed crimes or flaws in their genetic composition. As the crusade begins drawing to a close, the Emperor appoints Horus, his favorite Primarch, as War Master to continue on, and the Emperor returns to Earth to begin other projects that he doesn't bother telling the Primarchs about. Now, while the Crusade has been pushing on, the forces of chaos have been busily working behind the scenes, manipulating, scheming, and seducing the Primarchs and their legions to betray the Emperor. The Primarchs essentially regarded the Emperor as their father, but he saw them simply as tools that he had created to further his agenda. This, coupled with the power of the Chaos Gods that the Emperor had tried to hide from them, and his unwillingness to share his plans with them, gave the Primarchs reason to betray the Emperor. 9 of the Primarchs and their legions, including Horus, betrayed the Emperor and fell to chaos, leading to a galaxy-wide civil war called the Horus Heresy. Along with half of the Space Marines, half of the Imperial Army, and half of all, essentially, the Imperial forces in the galaxy as well. The ensuing war culminated in the attempted invasion of Earth, where the Emperor and Sanguinius, the Primarch of the Blood Angels, confronted Horus, who had been swollen with chaos power. Horus was able to kill his brother Sanguinius, but not before Sanguinius was able to wound him, which the Emperor was able to exploit to destroy Horus. Unfortunately, Horus had also been able to wound the Emperor, who needed to be rushed to a device in the palace called the Golden Throne, which was a device tied into the warp and was used as a life support system to keep the Emperor from dying by channeling his soul into the warp while his body died. Whether the Emperor actually survived this is uncertain, as only a few people can allegedly communicate with him through the warp. After their defeat on Earth, the Chaos Forces fled into the warp, where they fragmented into various war bands to bide their time, periodically invading and raiding portions of the galaxy for their own selfish purposes. The Space Marines who had fallen to chaos are now called Chaos Space Marines, and the warp begins to mutate and alter them in ways pertinent to the gods they chose to follow, as well as allowing them to survive for centuries, as time in the warp is essentially irrelevant compared to time in real space. The Imperium is shattered once more as a result of the Horus Heresy, and the now decimated forces of humanity struggle to hold on to what the Emperor's crusade had achieved in the face of various chaos raids, demonic invasions, worlds falling to worship chaos, and various alien races trying to take advantage of the new disorder. Additionally, the loyal Space Marine legions are divided further into chapters, each 1,000 strong rather than 100,000, to decrease the power held by any single group and reduce the impact of another possible heresy-type event. Over the next 10,000 years, the Imperium continues falling further and further into disarray and disrepair, as most of the loyal Primarchs are either lost to the warp trying to fight chaos, or succumb to various wounds suffered in battle and put into stasis. Religion, based on worshipping the Emperor, who is possibly just a dead corpse on the Golden Throne, reignites, and the Church becomes a tremendous influence across the galaxy with its own military arm and inquisitorial forces hunting down and executing anybody they deem unfaithful. Present times, in the 41st millennium, see Abaddon, who had been Horus's first captain, succeed in uniting a large number of Chaos Space Marine war bands into the Black Legion, and has begun launching many small crusades of Chaos Space Marines and demons, and has succeeded in opening a warp rift, nearly splitting the galaxy in two, and allowing demons to easily begin pouring out of the rift into real space. As a player in Warhammer 40,000, you're able to take command of armies from all of the faction mentioned in this brief synopsis and fight to further your side's control of the galaxy. These playable factions include Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, the Imperial Guard, Chaos Demons, Adeptus Ministorum, which is the forces of the Church, and the Adeptus Mechanicus, who are the tech adept types. Additionally, there are multiple alien races that I'll discuss in an upcoming video, each playing an important role in the story as a whole. Thank you for joining me, and stay tuned for further introductory videos on the whole of the Warhammer 40,000 hobby. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments or any ideas for future videos, anything you'd like more information on, please comment down below. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. See you around.